everybody, it's Robbie here. I'm coming to you today with another Evan-Moor. I haven't filmed in so long. This is gonna be painful. All right, I'm coming to you today with another Evan-Moor product review. There we go. Spit it out. Okay, so if you've been watching my last few videos, you notice that my surroundings keep changing. I keep trying to move to different locations to find a quiet spot to where I can make it through, and surely somebody's not trying to come into my room right now. Okay, they walked away. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. But the Rona has done a number on my groove. It's thrown off my groove. And I've got so many videos to do, guys. I'm so backed up, it's not even funny. Ideas that I want to do, things that I promised I would get out, and they haven't been done. And then my motivation really is kind of off too. I think if you've watched any of my videos, you've heard me talk about that. Deep breath. All right, here is my review of Top Student. And I wanted to bring this up because it's going to be mentioned in a video that I keep wanting to do that I haven't done yet regarding supplemental activities. So this is a new product by Evan-Moor. It's kind of similar to some of those other like all-encompassing, all-in-one curriculum books that you may see like at Walmart. They usually go from preschool through maybe grade 2, usually grade 1. This actually goes through 6th grade. So I thought that was kind of cool. This also covers more topics. It covers STEM, it covers science, it's got some computer science in there, it's got some, put my glasses on, social and emotional learning, social studies, and then of course within the language arts it's got reading, writing, well, math isn't language arts, but these are the typical subjects that you usually see in these books: reading, writing, math, grammar, and punctuation, spelling, and vocabulary. So this has got a broader range of topics covered in it than the others I've seen. I don't think that this would be comprehensive enough for an entire school year's worth of work. But say you're one of those that knows that due to the COVID restrictions and, or maybe you have, immunocompromised kids and you don't want them going into a school environment this next fall, and you're seriously considering homeschooling, but you don't know where to start, this is a good place to start. It would be easy to figure out what the gaps are, solidify some skills that, may need just a little bit of work, or, just a place to start where you don't know what curriculum to go to. You just want them doing something for now. Maybe you're deschooling and you just want a little bit of, consistency and time dedicated to work, but you just don't really want to just dive into a whole curriculum right now. This is a great place to start. So let me go in and show you what's in this book. First of all, it comes with a really cool Tearout poster, which I've already torn out. I'll have to kind of skim this from top to bottom, but hopefully you can see the width of this, it looks like. So iconic structures around the world. I thought this was a really, really cool poster. Many of these I'm not even familiar with, and I just, it's just a nice little bonus that comes with this book. And I'll keep sliding this up so you can see. There we go. So yeah, this is a Tearout poster that comes with it. I thought that was pretty cool. All right, so I like how the sections are color-coded. It makes it really easy to kind of flip through here, and if you wanted to go to a particular subject, it'd be easy to find because the different sections are color-coded. You've got grammar and punctuation, spelling and vocabulary, reading, writing, mindful moments. I'll talk about that when we get to it. That's part of the emotional learning segments. Math, computer science, and then we sorry, we start the green over again. You've got this series of color-coded, then it starts over. Computer science, science, STEM, social studies, mindful moments again, social and emotional learning, and then an answer key. These pages are all perforated, so you could create little work packets, daily packets. You could leave them in the book. It flattens out nicely. It's a big book, but it does flatten out pretty nicely. So it wouldn't be too difficult to work in. But if you found that it was, awkward and your student was having trouble working in it, you could always tear the pages out, or Staples, Office Depot, will cut off the spine for you for a small fee. You could then have the papers punched and put in a binder, or you could have them spiral bind it, or there's just lots of things that you could do depending upon your preference on how you want to work in it. Okay, so grammar and punctuation. So as you can see, this section's not too thick. We've got 40 pages approximately here, but it covers a broad range of topics. So you've got the skills that are going to be covered on each page are going to be listed at the top. It looks like one skill per page for the most part. And so, again, not going to be overwhelming at all. Your student can work independently, or you could sit down and instruct your student at the time that they're working this out, depending upon whether or not they're covering a new topic or it's review for them. But it's structured in such a way that it can be independent if they're pretty good self-starters. So at the top, you're going to have just a really short example and an explanation of the topic at hand, and then they're going to be able to work on their own after that. Verb tenses, conveying time, sequencing, verb tenses again, inappropriate shifts in verb tense, personal pronouns, antecedents, pronoun case. I'm skipping a few pages here. Adverbs, prepositions, sentence fragments. Okay, so you see it covers everything that a typical fifth grader would need to know, in my opinion, related to grammar. And if you see that there's a gap, obviously then you can seek out some more materials to cover anything that you feel like they need more work on. But this is going to be more broad than those typical summer workbooks. So if you really truly just want to figure out where your student is at academically, or you want something that you can sort of expound on, you could use this as a spine and then seek out different materials for extra practice if you wanted to. Figure out where their interests lie and then go deeper, whatever. Spelling and vocabulary. This is going to be not like your traditional spelling list where they have a list of words that they memorize and then do exercises around those words and then have a spelling test. This is more independent, but you'll have a lot of words where they have to unscramble, apply them, and just basically working with words and vocabulary. Anagrams. See, these are all scrambled. They have to unscramble them. Dictionary skills. Greek and Latin roots. Word relationships, analogies. I want to go through this pretty fast because it's a big book and I don't want this video to get too long because I'm bad about that. I know I get too long-winded. Okay, so now we're in reading. So again, the skills are listed up here. Use the details in a text to visualize and draw. Got a Venn diagram comparing two poems. Interpreting details in a text. So I like how some of these exercises are working with smaller bits of text. Others are working with a little longer bits of text. And they'll go back and forth between fiction, nonfiction. Yep, there's a nonfiction. fiction, nonfiction, so they're just kind of going back and forth. And this is kind of cool. This is instructional text, so literally they could follow the instructions and make this project if they wanted to, which is kind of cool. And you'll see as we go along, there's some other projects in here too, which I think are really neat. Teaching about prosthetics. And this section looks like it's pretty meaty, actually. There's quite a bit here. Let's see. About 40 pages. That was what the other one was too. So, all right, writing. So this isn't going to be your traditional, write an essay on this topic, but it does give a lot of different exercises and practice in writing in various ways. This one here, like look at the photograph, then write a caption. So this helps with, trying to come up with titles for things. These are the kind of skills I would need to try to come up with a title for a piece, because I know that can be really tough for some people. Writing a meme, same thing. Determine the background story behind these pictures. And again, the skills are listed up top. So it's certainly nothing overwhelming. A page a day. Write a recipe. Have you ever seen the video where the dad gets his kids to write out instructions on how to make a peanut butter sandwich? And things like, get out a piece of bread. So he gets out a piece of bread. Put the peanut butter on top. So he takes the peanut butter jar and he puts it on top of the piece of bread. And the kids are like, ah! And then they run off and they have to go do it again. And they do it again and they do it again. I mean, the dad takes the instructions so literally that it's a riot. But the kids are getting so frustrated. But that's the kind of detail that's needed with instructional writing. And so, I like that they're including that here. If you haven't seen that yet, go look it up. If I can find it, I'll link it below. It's a riot. Like, it's really something I want to do with my kids. Seriously. Torturous, but important, right? We torture our kids when we homeschool them. Okay, maybe not. Venn diagrams. Compare and contrast. Describing a place. Okay, this is one of those mindful moment sections. So you have these QR codes that you can scan and they can listen to. For students in China, I guess, if they're learning English as a second language. And, it's just breathing exercises and something like, things like that. Just a one little spread here. This will come up here. It'll come up a little bit later. And then there'll be a whole section on the emotional, I can't remember what they call it, ESL, emotional, social, and emotional learning, SEL. Sorry, I forget that every time. All right, so now we're going to go into the math section. And I thought this was pretty good. We got starting with order of operations, place value, expanded notation. So, I think this has a basic coverage of the concepts that they would need for typical 5th grade math. It seems pretty on level in my opinion. And so it's nice because, again, it'd be an easy way to find out where gaps are, or just to give a little bit of practice on all the different topics without having to go search for it on your own, because that can be really frustrating. What should I have them practice on? We've got some decimals here. It's very colorful and very engaging, which is important to my student. Dull, boring, black and white pages are not popular in our home. Some kids get really distracted by some of this stuff, though, so I'm not saying it's, the perfect way to learn for every student, but if you have a visual learner that likes colorful, engaging text, this is definitely going to be in line with that. We're discovering volume. Now we're getting into a little more complex objects that we have to try to find the volume of. I don't know if you can hear what's going on in the background, but there's chaos outside my door. Building shapes, a neighborhood map. Chief Lorenzo's restaurant. So we got some data, data graphing and interpretation. Spatial reasoning. Ah, interesting. All right. This is a cool section that I don't think I've seen in any one of these kind of all-in-one books. It's computer science. And what I like about this is that it makes them think like a coder. So it's not teaching them how to code, but it's giving them exercises that help them understand the logic behind it and the kind of reasoning skills that you need and problem-solving skills that you need when you're a coder. So if you have a student that's interested in this sort of thing, this would be a fantastic exercise with that. Like, you have to figure out what the next pattern is here. You have to find the error in the different patterns here. You know, what doesn't belong, what's missing, where are the errors occurring. Working with zeros and ones, again, binary code. Yep, binary code is zeros and ones. So I thought this was really cool. And I've got one of those kids that loves coding related exercises. He's huge into Scratch right now. And Scratch is a free program that does block-based coding. So they don't have to write their own code, but they do have to, again, think in the way a coder would need to think in order to create a project. And if you have a student that you think might be interested in something like that, do check them out. Scratch is cool. And it's free. Free is good. Okay. So now we're into, I just sort of flipped through, science. Okay, so now we got science here. And there's a lot of fun little projects in this. I thought it was really, really cool. I mean, there's some text and, informational text and some question and answer type pages too. But we've got an experiment here, two experiments here that they can do. So again, if you're just working over the summer with something like this, or want someplace to start at the beginning of the school year, this is going to give a student some fun activities to do. Again, some experiments here. Exercise on density, the water cycle. And I did notice that most of this is like earth science, a little bit of life science. Dealing with natural events, ocean tides, seasons, space. Oh, there's some engineering in here too. Not a lot, but some. STEM. We're into STEM. We'll just move on. STEM. Okay. Which again, this is a category I don't see in a lot of these books. So it's cool, especially if you have kids that really like hands-on projects. This is going to give them lots to do. Want to keep your kids busy over the summer? Hand them this, because this is all project-based. So they have a suggested materials list, and then they have a project that they have to do. This one is going to be a remote control game. And they give them plenty of space to work to design their project. Bungee cord drop. Again, suggested materials list and pages to design their project. A balanced sculpture. Again, materials list and pages to design their project. A humane mousetrap. This literally requires a mouse. No joke. A pet mouse. So, if you don't want a pet mouse, and you don't know anybody who has a pet mouse that will allow you to borrow them, this project might not be for you. But it is there if you want to try to design a humane mousetrap. Solar heated faucet. I'm a little intimidated by some of these, but your kids will probably be like into it. Yeah, here we go. All right, now we're into social studies. So we have some prehistoric history. Time machine interview. I thought this was cool. You have to imagine that you're in a time machine, you have to go back and interview somebody, and you have to come up with the questions that you would ask. Using resources to shape a community. Visual icons, shape nations. Some fun stuff here. It's pretty random, but it's, you know, a nice variety. I would think it would keep students from getting bored, and could trigger or motivate a student to want to go deeper in some of this stuff. Here's an art project. So I like that there's a lot of hands-on things. There's even a coloring page if you like, if you have a student that likes to do this kind of detailed coloring. Here's another mindful moment with the QR codes. And then we've got the social and emotional learning. This is the shortest section in the book, other than those little mindful moments. There's not a whole lot here, but it does have some things in here. What is loneliness? What is friendship? What is happiness? The importance of laughter. Which of these things affect your mood? Songs, movies, indoor activities, outdoor activities. And then there's a little object lesson here with a story. And then we got an answer key. So the answer key is perforated just like the other pages, so you could, if they're working from the book, you can tear these out if you don't want them to have access to them. This is the top student for 5th grade. Do go to Evan-Moor's website, because they have links to the entire book. So whenever you go to their website, it'll say peek inside, and usually you get a few sample pages. They give you the whole book, literally, that you can go through. So if you want to see another grade level of this, just go to Evan-Moor's website, and you can click on the sample material and get to thumb through the whole book just to see what the content is. They also often run specials on their website that you can't get through other sites, like Rainbow Resource or Amazon even. So the links I have below are affiliate links. If you do purchase from any of those links, it does provide a small commission to me for being an affiliate link. But don't feel any pressure to do that, but it does help support my channel. So if you do that, I want to thank you in advance. And I thank you for coming to my channel and watching this review today. Thanks again. Have a great rest of your day, and more to come soon.